Pulling in Chef Manisha here at this point in time. Again, like I said, we have presentation, which is not that important. We have taste as a priority. We have quality as a priority. Presentation, of course, is in the hands of the end users. With you, Chef Manisha, it's a very fine mix between taste, flavor, quality, and presentation, because you have your user right in front of you. Right? In fact, it's the right time to pull you in, because I just saw a post on the internet which has actually gone viral. And it is, it's a wire mesh. It has a razor clam shell. It has a dollop of asparagus jelly. And it has togarashi. Now, if you see, the product by itself is vegetarian. The plating medium is a clamshell, right? The plate is a wire mesh. Now, the moment you think of a wire, the first thing is a strict no, because of course, in a hotel, a wire mesh is straight out of the window. So, chef, you know, this is like the best of two worlds coming together. Not in the rightest way, because see, the moment you have a clam shell as a plate, it's going to put off a vegetarian in India at least, right? So, your thoughts, chef?
There is a lot on the net which sometimes is placed just for the photography.
Absolutely.
Because it looks very pretty,
this
very
is a restaurant,
beautiful.
I do not want to name it because I do not want to get personal.
I understand. Which looks very pretty, but at the end, even I've been to quite a few of these kind of restaurants, which at the end of having a 20-course meal,
True.
You go back and have food.
True.
You know? So that is something we have to understand. So as a chef of a hotel, which is kind of a pioneer and leader in F&B, this is a very fine balance one keeps trying to strike. So, of course, taste and the look is very important, but I would give taste more importance
Absolutely.
than the look, because
Absolutely.
after you look at the food, you start eating, and if that doesn't satiate you,
True.
it is of no impact, you know. So like we say, flavor is for the body, taste is for the mind.
Absolutely.
So the taste has to be, you should be able to recall the taste. You don't never recall a presentation.
True.
You say, oh, I had a great chicken, or I had a great lamb.
True.
You never say, oh, it was a very good presented chicken which I had.
Very true.
So taste always takes importance over the presentation.
That's I think, a very brilliant quote, chef, because eventually what you go out with is the taste in your mouth, it's the flavor on your fingers.
It's a memory. It's a food memory that you, and
absolutely.
your food memory is not dependent on the presentation.
Absolutely. I am completely
So that's where I come
I'm
from.
completely in for that. I'll pull in Chef Jason at this stage, because he also works with a hotel group. And I recently was part of a restaurant food menu where on a platter were little pebbles. Right? There were small little stones, small little white pebbles. There was a coconut shell, and there was a granita that was served within. Now, as an Indian audience, or as the technical term of the food world, anything on the plate should be edible, right? In fact, we also used to get brickbats for using that large sprig of rosemary. And I remember as an executive chef, you know, our chefs used to actually come and stuff it in your mouth saying, "Tu khayega? Tu itna bada rosemary khayega?" You know, things like that, because we have worked with chefs who have been from a different school. So, chef, how do you see it changing, evolving? How different is it today in the hotel space?
Well, I think today's world, presentation has taken its place. And we first eat with our eyes rather than... so, presentation also is of prime importance.
True.
Because the moment you see the food on a table, what comes to your mind is, wow, it looks good.
True.
So, presentation number one. Equally, taste, flavor, also a part of it. But then, times are changing. You know, people don't want to serve the way the food was served 10, 15 years back. You know, a lot of quirky things are coming up, a lot of props coming up on the plate. So whatever looks good on the plate, provided it should be edible. Makes sense for that. Yeah.
But I'll pull in Chef Vivek at this point in time. Given the same question to you about pebbles on a plate, like you are a veteran in the space of the pastries. Would you ever think of plating possibly a chocolate mousse on maybe a platter full of pebbles? Because the first thing is, what if a guest eats it? You know, because by default, it's not always about educating the audience or educating the guests. Sometimes I feel it's always the taste that is going to hold prominence. What are your thoughts on that?
Jason mentioned that the taste
Take it a
is the
little
factor.
closer. Yeah.
As Jason mentioned, the taste is the factor, right? The modernize
Sure.
is good,
Yeah.
but how and how much you're gonna put on the plate,
True.
which is not edible,
True.
that is more important.
True.
See, the guest is educated now. Like people know what to eat and what not to eat.
True.
Right? So as a chef community, it's our responsibility to put something food in a right track.
True.
That is important.
True.
Putting pebbles, it's not a good idea.
True.
Because as you said, if somebody put it in their mouth, what's going to happen?
Absolutely.
Right?
It's a scary situation
It
because
is a
see,
scary
as chefs,
situation.
we kind of sometimes get over experimental. We sometimes feel like the kings of the hotels. And you know, sometimes, and I'll come to you, Chef Altamash, on this. How important is portion controlling in this whole exercise? Because of course, with the taste comes in flavor, with the flavor comes in quality, with the quality also comes in quantity. Because you are eventually going to sell it to an audience. You're going to sell it to a consumer. So your thoughts on being different when it comes to portioning?
Years back, we used to follow this rule from our college time that we have to give 100 grams of protein,
Right.
60 grams of vegetables, 30 grams of sauce.
Right.
In today's world, I think it was also a correct thing because today, during this modernization, people have started putting 20% of protein on the plate.
True.
Correct, Chef Jason? 20% of protein and 80% of sauce
True.
for making it look presentable.
See,
So-
but doesn't that arise from the fact that people say, thoda extra sauce dena?
But sir, everyone doesn't like it.
True.
But 20% if you put protein and 80% sauce, not a
Absolutely.
good thing. So portion control is important.
Absolutely. So coming to Chef Tushar, how do you think food presentation or food quality directly proportional maybe to the propping? Would you really endorse propping things up and giving the quality a backseat?
Well, I don't think so. I should be, we
Absolutely.
should compromise on the quality. But as far as if we are maintaining a fair quality and, presenting food in
True.
a different way, that is more important. Because we cannot compromise completely on the quality, but keep a standard quality.
True.
Which is acceptable by the consumers. So that is what is my view on this.
Absolutely. And Chef, coming to you, Chef Nitin on the line now. How would you possibly think about propping, except for maybe exhibits and events? Where do you see the entire medium of propping or building it up with props come in?
Look, when we were doing into the hotels
True.
and banquets, that was the
True.
standard part and procedure. But at the end of the day, what matters to me is the end food
Absolutely.
and the taste. It should make a difference. The propping and all is desirable if it goes and complements the food, and to a limit extent that nowadays lot of regulations are there which you need to keep into mind. The compliances are
True.
there, and I'll do it to an extent where the end food is not affected at
True.
all, because at the end of the day, the taste matters.
True.
So, to a limit level, I'll do it.
Absolutely.
But beyond that, I would not recommend, because there have been incidences where unknown or the ignorant consumer has
Very true.
taken in and
Very
has. And if you're abroad, I still remember while working in England, we were always taught
Brilliant.
that chef at the end of the day is responsible if something goes wrong. So that has stayed in my mind, that consumers' health and consumers' ultimate taste is something which I need to keep into mind.
Fantastic. What I
That's
would do is, we have the last 2 minutes of the session, and what I would do is, I will actually pull in Chef Harpal and Chef Manisha together on this question, because both of them are related to the personalities that I would refer to. The two people that I would refer to here while closing this talk is Chef Sanjeev Kapoor and Chef Imtiaz Qureshi. Both Padma Shris, both veterans in their own space. One, the Badshah of possibly social media, and one who possibly doesn't even understand the QWERTY pad. So the question is to the two of you, how would this difference have a bridge? Like Chef Sanjeev Kapoor is possibly on Brooklyn, and Chef Imtiaz Qureshi is possibly in the Ganga Ghat. How do you possibly bridge these two mediums? And it's a very tricky question, because both are veterans in the space, both are Padma Shris, both are icons of the country. One zero on social media, one the hero on social media. So possibly this is the brilliant question to end on.
I think I wouldn't say that Imtiaz ji is zero on social media.
I agree, but there was a
wouldn't say
time
that.
where
But
he was absolutely not
would,
there.
I would certainly put two of them at the same platform. One, because one person has actually brought limelight to what chefs are all about.
Absolutely, hands down.
And one person has taught all of us as chefs. We always remember, I'm sure all of us agree,
Absolutely.
that एक बार चांस मिलना चाहिए इनके साथ काम करने के लिए, चाहे जितनी मर्जी गालियां खा लो.
I agree.
You know, so that thing is there. So I have worked with both of them. So both of them have taught me differently. I'll give you a very good example. For example, you know, when I do television, it's a strict no-no to toss noodles like the way we toss. It's a strict no-no. Because when you go to a very small town, for example, Gorakhpur, the first thing you hear from the ladies is, sir, हम तो वो करते हैं, noodles तो बाहर गिर जाते हैं. हमारा तो नुकसान हो जाता है.
Very true.
So then you remember, oh, when I was doing a show inside a hypermarket in Agra, and I was using corn flour, and for me in India, I still teach corn flour and corn starch same है. For a chef, I know दोनों different है.
I agree.
But मैं सबको ये कहता हूँ, भाई साहब ये दोनों सेम है, आप यूज करो.
हाँ, ये मक्की का आटा डाल दिया, Chinese में वही बात हो गई.
I am sitting in a hypermarket, and after my show, when I did some veg stickies, these ladies come and say, sir, ये corn flour किधर मिलेगा? And I'm inside a hypermarket. So also at the same time, when I worked along with the maestro, Mr. Qureshi, I would always see how finesse it comes into
True.
the picture. You know, what is finesse? What is that you need to learn about food? And we all as chefs, I'm sure, want that zing in our life that we need to know as
Absolutely.
chefs what good food is about, because that is what will connect.
Hands
so I'm
down.
very fortunate that I worked with both of them, and I understand for whom I'm catering to.
True.
And I accordingly, you know, put myself or mold myself to wherever I'm standing and displaying things.
Absolutely, hands down. Chef Manisha, same question, a little tricky, I understand, but
I think both of them.
see, we are not comparing, we are not pitching, but I
I'm
just
not.
need to know.
I'm not comparing. I'm the bridge that brings
True.
them together. I think is the passion for what they do. If you, I have worked with Chef Imtiaz and I have interacted with Chef Sanjeev
Absolutely.
Kapoor off and on. It's a passion that one is playing in the media. So like Harpal said that he kind of tells you the nuances of the camera, the food. He
Absolutely.
understands both of it. However, Chef Imtiaz, the finesse in the food. He is highly creative. You give him even an imported ingredient and he will turn out a great Indian meal for you from that. So that is where it comes from. Passion for food, passion for what you do, which actually reflects in their achievements.
Absolutely brilliant. I think it's a wonderful note to end on, you know, serving food with a difference. The bottom line is just don't be different. You know, kind of stick to the age-old practices and maybe just tweak them a little. Do not try to reinvent the wheel and do not try to, you know, go too extremely overboard. Because end of the day, what matters is the basis of everything. It's eventually the taste, it's eventually the quality. Yes, we are stepping big time into the world of social media and the internet, but that's always going to stay. And at no point in time is quality or taste ever going to take a back seat. And that's, I think, resonating between all the 7 chefs seated here. And thank you very much, all of you, for adding your individual thoughts in your individual capacities. And brilliant. I've worked with most of you in various capacities before, but I think this is a very different medium to connect. Thank you very much, and God bless all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is Chef Varun Inamdar saying thank you.